In the bottom section of the notes, these are talking about inequalities. Thank you. These are talking about inequalities. So instead of doing equations, what word represented an equal sign? You're going to grab the lights for me, please. What word? We just talked about it. What word represented an equal sign? Is. So when you see the word is, that means an equal sign. Now with an inequality, we're going to have a lot of different words. We have a lot of different symbols we have to worry about. So as I look at inequalities, let's look at these words. Okay? First of all, less than is less than. Less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Greater than. Looks like that. And then we have greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So these are the symbols that we may have for an inequality. Now, just be careful. If it says write the inequality and it has less than, that does not mean subtraction. That means the less than symbol. So let's look at number 1. A number is less than negative 10. Less than means inequality. So how do I represent a number as less than negative 10? In less than negative 10. So use the less than symbol. If it says write each inequality, less than does not mean subtraction. It means the less than symbol. So number is less than negative 10. Okay, let's look at 3. A number is greater than or equal to negative 4. A number, x, how do I represent is greater than or equal to? Which direction is the opening? Left. Yes. So a number is greater than or equal to negative 4. So make sure you read. If the directions say write each inequality, you have to look for what symbol you're going to use. A number is greater than or equal to, so you need the line underneath, negative 4. Okay, let's think about this one, number 4. These get a little tricky. A number is at most 45. Let's think about what that means. Think about what the phrase is at most means. A number is at most, which means what's the highest number I can have if it's at most 45? 45. So all my other numbers have to be what compared to 45? Less than. So be careful with that. So if it says a number is at most 35, that's the highest it can be. So all my other numbers have to be less than or equal to, you should be equal to if that's what you're going to say, 45. So number is at most means the highest it can be is 45. So all my numbers have to be less than or equal to 45. So let's make a note of that. The less than or equal to symbol is also is at most. So let's make a note of that. Write that up here, that phrase. Is at most will mean that less than or equal to. So if you phrase is at most, it's less than or equal to. Okay, let's look at 5. Any questions so far? Let's look at 5. A speed limit of 55 miles per hour. Let's let S represent the speed limit. A speed limit is 55 miles per hour. So I need to go less than or equal to 55. That is what that sign is telling you, that my speed has to be less than or equal to 55. Whether it is or not, it's a different story, but it should be. Okay, a number, let's look at 6. A number is at least 16. Now let's think about what the phrase at least. At least, what is the lowest number I can have? 16. Can I have numbers above 16? Yes. The lowest number I can have is 16. So it's greater than or equal to 16. So at least means the lowest number I can have is 16. All my numbers have to be greater than or equal to. So let's make a note of that. At least is greater than or equal to. At least. So at least, put up here. You should be writing this down, please. At least is greater than or equal to.
Preston, you getting this written down?
Okay. Let's look at 8. A number is no more than 26. No more than. Let's think about what that means. You have to think about it. Can I have any number greater than 26? No, because I want a number no more than 26. So it's going to be n is less than or equal to 26. Think about what the phrase means. No more than means it can't be greater than 26. So let's make another note up to the top. Less than or equal to is also no more than. So if you want to put another arrow down here, no more than. So those are two phrases. Less than or equal to can also, guys, stop. I'm literally in the middle of talking. So less than or equal to is no more than. Okay, let's go ahead and do a 7 real quick. A number is no less than 10. A number is no less than, it can't be any less than 10. So it has to be greater than or equal to 10. So no less than, a number has to be greater than or equal to 10. So make that change. Greater than or equal to is also no less than. Guys, Gage, stop. It's really not that funny.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so greater than or equal to is no less than. Now let's look at 9 and 10. Maximum and minimum. Let's think about what those words. A maximum number of 25. What does a maximum number mean? The highest it can be is 25. So all the rest of my numbers have to be what compared to 25? Less than or equal to. So the maximum means the highest number I can have is 25, so all the rest needs to be less than or equal to. So let's go to less than or equal to. Let's put one more arrow, and that is maximum. If I'm talking about a maximum, it has to be, everything else has to be less than or equal to it. So everyone should be writing this down, please. We're not taking a ton of notes. And then number 10, a minimum. Minimum means what about 5? That's the lowest it can be is 5. So everything else has to be what compared to 5? Greater than or equal to. So minimum means the lowest it can be is 5. So everything else has to be greater than or equal to. A minimum of 5. So let's go put one more arrow. Greater than or equal to is also minimum. M-I-N, minimum. Okay? Any questions on those? Same idea, just with inequality symbols. Okay, so go ahead. You have 15 minutes. You should be able to finish this homework. If you need help, let us know.